Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lisa and welcome to SoulxAlchemy, where we focus on body, mind, and soul transformations. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the full moon in Taurus, which is happening on October 31st, Halloween, and it is going to be in the sign of Taurus. Now, what's special about this full moon is that it is what is considered a blue moon. The last blue moon happened 19 years ago. Yes, 19 years ago. Isn't that crazy to think about? But anyways, there's a lot of energy surrounding this full moon, and I want to go ahead and break that down for you guys. That way you have a little bit better understanding of what is happening behind the scenes in your life that will definitely have some sort of effect. So what is a full moon and what kind of energy is behind a full moon? So the full moon is about accumulation, kind of like a buildup. It brings to fruition things that have been initiated at an earlier time. Now, since the full moon this time around is in the sign of Taurus, Taurus rules the second house, and the second house, it relates to what you own in this life and what you will acquire, i.e. your income and your financial prospects. It also involves movable possessions, the things that you physically will take with you as you move through life. And of course, it is happening during Scorpio season, and Scorpio is the ruler of the 8th house, which is about death and regeneration. Considering that the 8th house is one of the 3 mystical houses in the natal chart in astrology, sometimes called the house of spiritual transformation. It rules the life forces that surround sex, birth, death, and the afterlife. It also concerns legacies and what you inherit from the dead, both materially and spiritually. Funny enough how the full moon itself is happening on the day that the veil is the thinnest between the spiritual world and the material world, i.e. the physical world. So I want to point out one thing. Yes, I'm not an astrologer or a professional astrologer. I just have a really deep-seated love and interest in astrology itself. So the things that I have pointed out are pretty general knowledge, but one thing that I've learned, and even just looking at the chart for the full moon and what is happening at the time of the full moon, I can definitely see one thing that kind of catches my eye that I want to bring up to you guys, and that is the moon conjuncts Uranus and the sun opposes Uranus. And kind of what I see here, I'm just looking at my notes, or my iPad, I have notes. So kind of like what I see here is, will not conform or be restricted. Rash, erratical, a nervous strain. So it's almost like I get the anxiousness and I get the need to, it's almost like a resistance of change. Like you don't want to conform, you kind of just want to stay the same, and there's really not, I don't want to say like there's the aching of growth, like we want this growth, we want this change, but at the same time, everything in your being is just resisting that change at the same time. I recorded a video yesterday, but I was so all over the place with that whole reading in itself that when I went to go edit it today, it just didn't make any sense, and I couldn't piece it together as hard as I tried. But I will say that a few of the things that I kind of grabbed from that reading itself was consistency. The need for consistency in our lives. Consistency is a definite need in our lives right now. I feel like this whole year, no matter what you've been trying to like accumulate in your life, manifest into your life, kind of will into your own reality, or kind of just change and manipulate the ways of your own reality, consistency has not been a trend of this year, if anybody gets my drift on that. Like, 2020 has been one of those years that just kind of like rocks your socks off. And it does so for a very good reason. You know, our foundations in what we have been trying to build for ourselves, are they solid enough? Are our relationships and the foundations that we build our relationships on solid enough? Are the careers and the life choices that we're making, are they solid enough? You know, because if you build a home on a weak foundation, that home isn't going to last through a hurricane. Though if you build a home on a solid foundation, that home can weather any storm you throw at it. So it really is, this year really is about shaking the foundations that we find, shaking down our lives in order for us to restructure foundations, build better foundations. What are the things in your life that are calling into consistency? You know, we all want to find our passion. We all want to know that we're being provided for, and if we're being honest, human beings don't really like the unknown, so we always want to know that we can see or foresee what's going to happen for us. So we plan, and you have these plans, and you know, you see other people's successes in them, and so you try and make it for yourself. One thing that I've learned, and I think one thing that kind of rings true for the energy that does surround the full moon, is life doesn't give you a map. Life doesn't give you a checklist to follow. You have to start at the top and work your way to the bottom. That's not how it works for everyone. Everyone's checklist is different. Everyone is going to hit those milestones differently. You're not going to hit it just like everyone else. And I think, you know, we're all different in that sense. And that's great. Because you may end up being someone else's inspiration for them trying to achieve, you know, their next step in life. But Spirit wants you to look at it. Look at your situation, look at your circumstances, look at your consistency, look at what you bring to your table. And I feel like most of us are refusing. I really do get this sense that how do I put it? It's like siblings. Can I just say it like that? You see everyone else getting what they want, but you're over here like, well, what about, well, look at them, why can't I have that? Or, well, they get to do it, how come I don't get to do it? And maybe it's just like, well, you're not there yet. You're not at that same level. And then again, there may be something that you do that they're not able to do. I think the point that I'm trying to make is don't be looking into your neighbor's fences and saying how green their grass is compared to your yellow and unkept grass. Like there are things that we need to take into consideration and be grateful for. And there's that consistency of being able to give yourself that gratitude and that compassion, knowing that you are provided for in all ways, and you will be able to see all of that come into play. Like it's coming. Like what you're trying to achieve, it's coming. You just can't be forceful. You can't force this. This isn't something that you can just make happen on a dime. It's going to take time. I keep wanting to say it, consistency. It's gonna have to take some work. Coming up on the last 10 months of this year, or not even 10, 7, the last 7 months of this year have been nothing but a roller coaster for the most of us. And there are some people that at the start of 2020, like, I don't even want to say that, because it's not that. But I definitely feel like there's I see a lack of gratitude for how far you have come, because you keep looking over and seeing what other people are doing and wondering why you're not there yet. Why are they getting this and I'm getting this? But have you even considered tending or caring or recognizing what you have in your own backyard? Spirit wants you to look at it and you're refusing. Oh, there's nothing that can help this. Oh, there's nothing that can be done here. But maybe if I just do this because this is what I'm being told to do, it'll just happen. The Two of Pentacles just came out. I love this deck. And to me, that's dual. Number 2 always represents, to me, I just get the sense of duality. There's the give and the take. And especially for Two of Pentacles, I'm getting the sense of the give and take of like the material sense, obviously with Taurus. It's almost like, what do you need to let go in order for you to gain, right? There's always going to be a give and take. There's always going to be those possessions or those material items in your life. What are you going to bring forward? What do you have to bring to the table? Everyone has a list Everyone has the same map. Everyone has the same list, but are you meant to check? Not everyone has the same map. Not everyone has the same checklist. But at the same time, life doesn't hand you this map or this list. And sometimes you'll feel completely lost and by yourself. But it is during that time where we're able to reach inside of ourselves and listen that we find exactly what we need. Sometimes and it all starts with a little bit of gratitude, a little bit of compassion, and a little bit of self-care. I think we get so caught up in this mental prison that we've built for ourselves, and we are enslaved to this way of thinking. You don't have to think like that. It doesn't have to be like that. This worry that you're not going to be able to move forward. No. Your biggest critic is yourself. That's a lot of reverse cards. I wonder where that is. Because we have Three of Cups reversed, Wheel of Fortune reversed, the World reversed, and Strength reversed. But we also have the Eight of Swords. And see, this is where I say, like, there's this mental prison that you kind of built yourself around, expecting it to be one way, like, and you see things happening for other people, but you don't see them happening for you. And yet here you are doing your magic, doing your work, doing your affirmations, trying to get it done. And, you know, there's that consistency, but how much work are you actually putting into making sure that, you know, you are able to change your reality? Well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but is there soul and spirit behind the action in which you're doing? You can say these affirmations until you're blue in the face, right? But do you actually believe it to be happening? Do you have the passion and the love behind the words in order for it to happen? Or are you still stuck in the same mind frame, expecting, it's like insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting a different result every time? You can't do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. You can't keep doing the same love jar or love spell jar or candle work, magic work, love potion, whatever you're doing, and expect the same result. If you are still mentally fighting yourself, if you're still mentally restraining yourself, there's this duality that's happening. I think it's important to recognize being at peace with yourself. I think it's important to recognize definitely think it also has to deal with the benefits with, I benefit with gratitude. There you go. I respect the property of others. And because this is the full moon is happening on the day where the veil is the thinnest, take into consideration the 8th house. The 8th house concerns legacies and what you inherit from the dead, both physically or materially and spiritually. We've all been working on breaking down some generational shit, right? This is the final test, right? Did you really break it down, or did you just kind of half-ass it? Like, let's be honest. Did you actually put in the work, or is this something that has been completely half-assed and there's no consistency with it? You think there's consistency with it, but there's really not. You know, putting in the work in order to see the result is one thing, but saying, oh yeah, sure, let's do it, but not really putting your full self into it and expecting, it's like, I think the best analogy I can come up with is it's like school. You know, you have this paper to write or this project to do, and you can go all out with it and put your heart and soul into it and get that A, or you can half-ass the project and hope to God that you get an A, or just not care if you do. I think respecting where you came from, respecting what you have brought with you thus far, but also living your life in gratitude and becoming at peace with yourself, and kind of just laying, weird, and kind of just laying that to rest. During Halloween, I've always wanted it to be a family tradition of mine, and hopefully when I get into a house, it will be. But bonfires and music. When I was a kid, that was like one of the biggest things that my dad ever did on like Halloween's, was music and a bunch of bonfires. And if you are a witch and you know about Samhain, that is one of the very many ways that you can practice traditions with the veil being thin and dancing around and being with your ancestors. The card that I pulled for the healing lessons or the healing practice, the healing message and practices, maybe, was sound music or sound therapy. And sound can be so beneficial, because when you listen to music, you utilize all of your brain, not the right side or the left side. Like when you're creative, you use the left side, and when you're putting things into action, you use the right side. But with music, you utilize all of your brain, and I think that in itself is super imperative, you know, especially when it comes to healing. But that was yesterday. This is today. Completely different reading. So I want to go ahead and give you guys a different healing message / practice that you can do. That was just a terrible shuffle, because these cards are too big for my hands. but I absolutely love this deck. This is my Isis Oracle deck. Lady of the Stars, Priestess of Sirius. I've gotten this card so many times you would think I would know the meaning of this card. But just for the hell of it, I'm going to go ahead and read a little passage of it. If I can find it. Okay. Sirius is a celestial goddess, a star of unconditional love and wisdom at an extremely high vibration. It brings deep soul awakening, spiritual gifts, and high capacity for divine service. Lady of the Stars is also an empowerment of all other oracles in this deck. She tells you to pay attention because something significant is taking place right now. There it is again. Pay attention. I got it like 3 different times yesterday and then again today. Definitely, I feel that. Pay attention to the things that are happening in your life right now. If you have put in this work, because that was a big thing that I feel with this full moon, is that nothing, what you've been calling into your life, the things that you have been shedding that no longer serve you, what you're trying to pull into your reality, what you're trying to manifest, is not going to show up in the way that you expect it to. It is going to show up. And I think right off the bat, most of us are going to be like, what? No, what is this? I don't want this. What the hell is this? Not knowing that that is the path that we actually need to take. The path with least resistance is always going to not come up as fruitful as the path of enduringness. Like, the path that is hard to take is always going to be more fruitful, because you're going to be more grateful for the lessons that you've learned and the things that you have accumulated. But we need to pay attention to those certain signs and be like, this is something that I would normally say no to, but I think I'm going to say yes. Or that's something I would normally say yes to, but I think this time I'm going to say no. I think all of our situations are different when it comes to what we are trying to create in our own realities. But I definitely think that most of us, if not all of us, have been a little bit hard on ourselves. And I think being able to follow your passion, being able to look at what Spirit is trying to show you, instead of just flat out gaslighting Spirit, because let's be honest, some of us really do that. What? No. That's... I don't know what that is. Are you fucking kidding me? She's gotta be fucking kidding me. But, yeah, I definitely feel like a lot of you guys are going to be getting you're going to be getting what you initially intended to manifest. But please keep in mind that it is definitely not going to come in the sense that you think it is. because it's almost like like I said, Spirit wants you to look at it like, hey, come look at this. And you're just, what? Look at what? It's right here. Like, take a look at it. It's right here. Take a look at what? Like, go into it with an open mind, I think, and just be extremely grateful for the experience and the knowledge that you've gained thus far. And please don't doubt yourself. Please don't have this over anxious prison that you'll put yourself in. You've made it this far. It'll keep happening. Just gotta keep forward with that consistency. Don't half-ass anything. Not your feelings, not your words, nothing. Don't half-ass it. Especially, I gotta do something for the full moon. Magic-wise, like some candle magic, maybe some satchels. I don't know, man. Gotta do something. Feeling definitely called for it. But my lovelies, if you have resonated with this reading and you would like to see more, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you yourself are interested in a personalized reading for yourself instead of a generalized reading, you can always hit me up on my Facebook page, or I will go ahead and leave somewhere on this beautiful screen my email address, and you can always email me and we can set up something through there. But yeah, a once in the blue moon, full moon. What am I? That's a once in a blue moon. Especially during one of the most shit years. I mean, shit years as in like a lot of shit has happened, okay? Like a lot of shit. It's definitely something, guys. It's definitely something. But like I said, if you like this, don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to share with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. I wish everybody a safe and happy Halloween or Samhain, whatever you celebrate. I always feel like I say this wrong. Dias de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, if you guys celebrate that. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful full moon in Taurus as well, and I can't wait to see what you guys practice on your full moon rituals. I will be sharing mine, of course, with you guys. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys for watching and tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.